What's up, Vol Nation? This is Frank, House of Orange Sports Channel, coming at you. The basketball regular season has concluded for Tennessee. They are officially the 4th seed in the SEC tournament. Basically, anything we needed to happen this week did not happen. We needed Alabama to beat Florida, and then we needed Auburn to beat Alabama. The exact opposite happened. We needed to beat Ole Miss to take care of business, and we didn't. We could have used Ole Miss beating Florida yesterday. It didn't happen. So Tennessee goes into the SEC tournament as the number 4 seed. It is a 1 still in. Is it still possible? I'm going to discuss that here in a minute. Make sure you hit that like, that share, that subscribe, though. 14 away from 3,000. Hopefully we can get there here before too long. Thank you guys for your support along the way. Looking at the SEC tournament bracket for next week, here's what we've got. Let me pull it up here with you just a moment. We'll look at it together. So Tennessee, of course, they do have the double bye, which is big for them. That gets them a couple of days off. And I've seen some people, and I kind of agree with it, talking about maybe Ziegler starting to get a little bit tired. And there were some games he played a lot of minutes. I really didn't think there was a lot of use in doing that. But, it is what it is. But here we go with it. Of course, games do kick off on Wednesday, as you've got 4 games. Then you advance to the next set on Thursday. Tennessee is paired with potentially Texas A&M, Vanderbilt, or Texas. That's who they will get in that one. And that could be really interesting if they get Vanderbilt. And it's not out of the realm of possibility that it could happen, because Vanderbilt can absolutely beat Texas, and they can beat Texas A&M, especially since this thing is in Nashville. So, where does Tennessee go? I'll be honest, I really wanted that 3rd seed on it. I wanted another shot at Kentucky. And I know it's a be careful what you wish for type thing. I really wanted one more shot at Kentucky, but the only way that's going to happen is if you get to the conference tournament championship. You're paired with A&M, who was on a bit of a slide, but then they beat Auburn earlier in the week. And then, of course, Auburn's lost 2 in a row. So if everything plays out, when we get to the final, then that's Tennessee versus Auburn on Saturday. But for me, though, I think I'll be honest, I don't know that even them winning the tournament gets a number 1 seed. I really don't. I don't know if it does or not. And, a couple years ago when Tennessee won the SEC tournament, you thought, yeah, that puts them at a 2 seed. That's going to drop Auburn to a 3. It ended up having no bearing on it at all. So if Tennessee were to beat, let's say they beat Auburn, they beat A&M, they beat Auburn, and then if they were to beat, say, Florida or Alabama, whoever on that one, to me, that should warrant a number 1 seed. I don't know that the committee see it that way again, because, and I would say this as well, if that would have no bearing on Tennessee being the 1 seed, it's time to abolish the SEC title or conference tournament. That's that's the way I feel on that. You guys know how I feel about these conference tournaments anyway. I think they're a joke. I think they're nothing more than a moneymaker. And like now, the Southern Conference tournament going on up in Asheville. Why should the Southern Conference champion have to go then win a 3-day tournament to get into the big tournament? We basically ignore the rest of it. I mean, a team like the SEC here, all teams make the SEC tournament. You could theoretically not win a single game the whole year, and then you get to the SEC tournament and you get hot and you win 5 in a row and you're in. You could have 5 wins on the season and get in with it. Tell me something. What? Why? It makes no sense to me. But to me, I think you go for that 4th number 1 seed. Lenardi still has Auburn as the number 1. I know people go back and forth. Lenardi's pretty good on what he does. He still has Auburn as the overall number 1. Duke, Houston, those 3 seem to be locks right now. that fourth seed's going to come down to people are thinking Florida or Alabama. Well, if that's the case, that easily could have been Florida or Tennessee had Alabama had lost yesterday, but they didn't. Why can it not come down to who makes it the furthest this weekend? If Florida or Alabama makes it to the title game or even wins it, they should get a 1 seed. If Tennessee were to win it and they beat Florida, make it further than Florida or Alabama, why should it not be Tennessee? But that would make too much sense. But obviously to get there is a tall task. You're going to have to beat, I'd say, either A&M, Vanderbilt, or Texas. All three teams, have done some good things lately. And then you would have to beat Auburn more than likely on it, which is a tall task. Auburn's still a good team. They lost to two tough teams this week. But the way it looks to me right now is Tennessee would be paired with Duke. And I'll be honest, that's the best matchup we could get with it, because I don't see the committee putting a bracket together with, say, Auburn and Tennessee is the 1 and 2, or Florida and Tennessee is the 1 and 2. They're going to mix them up a little bit. So that's going to put Tennessee either with Houston or it's going to put them with Duke. To me, I would rather be in a bracket with Duke than I would Houston. Houston plays a style of ball I think that would give Tennessee trouble. Duke, Tennessee could get in and manhandle them. And what I mean by that is rough them up. They can out-physical them. I'm not saying they'd get in and blow them out or nothing like that. I'm just saying that I think Tennessee could give Duke a lot of trouble by being physical with them. And we saw it, 2 or 3 years ago when I guess it was 2 years ago when Tennessee played. Ziegler was out, and people's like, well, there's no way they'll beat Duke. They manhandled Duke and really put it on them pretty good in that game. I think they could. Now, obviously, John Shire's probably learned from that. He knows how to play Tennessee better, and he's got a better team now, too. Make no mistake about it. But I'm not saying Tennessee would beat Duke, but I'm saying, to me, out of the potential number ones, I feel like that's who Tennessee would match up with the best. According to the current bracketology, they have Tennessee as the 2 and they got them playing in Lexington. You wait and see. They're going to end up playing in Lexington. And we'll see how that goes. They've got Tennessee playing South Alabama, and then they would play either BYU or Georgia. That's according to Lenardi's current bracketology. In that bracket, you also have Iowa State as the 3, Michigan as the 6. On up, you've got Purdue as the 4. I would like to get another crack at Purdue. I think it's one of those. There's those teams that coaches have to beat to kind of get over the hump. Purdue's been a major thorn in this team's side. The best 2 teams of the Barnes era were put out by Purdue. They were put out in 2019 with a team that looked like they could do a lot of damage. We had that bogus foul call on Lamonte Turner in that one that forced overtime. And then, of course, last year you had Zach Edey was allowed to do whatever he wanted to in that game. And, what it came down to in that one, though, Purdue's secondary players outplayed Tennessee's secondary players. Edey, Connect, Edey went off even more so than I thought he would. And we can say what we want on it. He dominated the game, no matter how it was allowed or not. Connect did his thing. The problem was Connect didn't get much help. Edey had some guys from Purdue who did step up and help out. That was the big difference in that game. But to me, maybe Purdue's the thorn in the side for Rick Barnes, because I'm going to tell you, I don't know this roster is going to look really interesting next year. I'm very interested to see how they fill it out. Does Barnes come back? I've seen the people saying if he is retiring, he's not giving any indications that he is. I would plan on Rick Barnes going to be back next year. Now, North Carolina State just fired Keats. Would they come in and go after Justin Gainey? Justin Gainey is a North Carolina State alum. He played ball there. Would they possibly come in and go after him? That could be interesting, because I think Gainey's getting up to that level where he's going to be a head coach. But, I wonder, too, would he go straight to the ACC, or would he be kind of like, Kim English and some of these other guys who took, lower level jobs and worked their way up? A part of me thinks that would be more the path, but still be interesting to see, because Gainey has been with Barnes for a few years now, and he's pretty much Barnes' right-hand man, I would say. Could he get that shot being that alum? It'd be interesting to see on that one. But Tennessee's path to me, again, I don't think it's clear. I think if we're playing this conference tournament, I think this tournament has to decide between Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, who's the fourth number one seed. I'm still not ruling out St. John's, but I think, Lenardi's got St. John's as a 3. I don't see it. I don't see that. He's got Texas Tech back up as a 2. But I'm kind of, I don't know. I think it's, when it boils down to it, I think it's one of these 3 SEC teams. And again, I think if one of the 3 wins the tournament, that's who should be your 1 seed. We'll see if the NCAA agrees or not. The only thing that is sure about the NCAA is the unsure. We know that along the way. But I think things are, bottom line is, I really think the worst, even if you lose on Friday, I think Tennessee's a 2 seed at worst right now. I don't think you could justify moving them down any. 2, with, to me, what should be the possibility still of a 1. And yeah, I will still take the 1 over the 2 any day of the week if it's there to be had. Frank, House of Orange will be back later on. Tennessee baseball plays at 1 o'clock today, game 3. Run rule is in effect today as well. It wasn't supposed to be last night, and something changed with it. They talked about that on the telecast. And then it's funny, if you've seen the video or not, they showed when Manny Marin hit the grand slam last night, and you saw Tony Vitello in the back. He was aggravated about it because it's college baseball, man. Get rid of the run rule. And there's maybe 20, but 15 or 20, not 10, man. Get rid of it. This is, especially these guys are getting paid now. Get that crap out of here, man. We got to fix the college. Just so much stuff, it doesn't make sense with college ball. And people are supposed to be going to college to get smarter. Yet we got the NCAA running it, and they're definitely not the epitome of intelligence. Let's put it that way. But Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel, hit the like, the share. 14 from 3,000. Hit that subscribe if you have not already. Be sure you check out in the description of the video and the channel memberships, the channel Patreon. Those do go to help as well. And we'll try to get more into member-only videos as this continues to build up as well. Maybe shorts, things along that line. So trying to come up with more ideas to continue to evolve and grow the channel. But have a great rest of your day. And last but not least, go Vols.